Hi everyone, welcome to Paper Wishes weekly webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I've got a fantastic flower collection, cutting dies. These are layered flowers and they are from Creative Expressions. Look at the cute little flower pot with the Just For You. Now this sentiment right here can be put down separately. We've got apple blossoms, we've got daffodils, and we've got two large greetings. I can't wait to show you what we came up with. Cards like this and so much more. So come back and play with us. All right, Creative Expressions does a great job with their layered flower collections here. So we've got a beautiful layout here of how to layer them, and they're all numbered, okay? So we've got each piece, and then we've got the layering process right here, and then here are the dies. So it makes it really easy to assemble these. Now I've done a little inking on mine. I've got my little stems. And I use the following colors here, and I'm going to be demonstrating. I've got two of these little stamen centers because I was quite sure I'd lose one, so we're only going to use one of those. So I'm using khaki along these leaves, and I should mention that the solid cardstock I'm using for all of the flowers today came from X-Ray Flowers cardstock. And it's got two wonderful shades of green, two shades of yellow, and then the two shades of the pink for the apple blossoms. Works great. So this is a great one to invest in. All right, so I've got our little stems and our little leaves. So what I like to do is use some daubers, little sponge daubers, and I went ahead and I used the khaki and just went along the edges, just like this, just a little shading. And then what we're going to do is, I did some shading on this part here. So you're going to glue 12 to number 11, and the pointy part of the leaves goes at the top. And this is all covered by the diagram. We're going to use our little Cosmic Shimmer glue. And you're just going to put that right there. Right. And you could put those on all of them. It's just a nice little layering piece, or you could just do it on one, whatever you'd like. And then, oops, we're going to put a little bit of glue here, and we're going to layer these leaves like this. And then you can just sort of shorten them by one be a little bit down here, just like that. Oops. Well, it would help if I put some glue on it. There we go. Just doesn't take much to assemble these as far as glue goes. If you use too much glue, it's just a big sticky mess. Now, you can either leave these stems, leave these leaves like this, or you could just take scissors and cut them off so they have a flush bottom. It depends on what you're going to use them for. Then we've got our little stem, but until then, let's start building the blossom. So right here, I have got number 4, oops, I need to show you, number 4 right there. And I'm going to use a little warm honey on this one. And for this one, I just like to use the surface of the ink pad, and you're just gonna go around it just like this. Just using the surface, just to color that. Same thing with this piece right here. Now these are all cut from the same color of yellow, kind of a golden color. And then what we're going to do is put a little bit of glue on this layering piece. You're just going to place it right on top like that. Then we're just going to let that dry. All right, so now we've got these two pieces, and it shows you right here that you're going to layer 6, 7, and 8. So here is, I'll get rid of that one, I don't need it. So now we're down to these 3 pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is I've got Tiger Orange for this. And what I'm doing is, this is the base part. I'm just coloring it. You really don't need to color all of it, but while I'm there. And then we're going to do this one. kind of a light part at the bottom and then go heavy at the top. Go. All right, now we're going to glue, ooh, got some on my finger now. We're going to glue this one to the larger one. I love all the details they have on these. All right. And then what we're going to do is take that little stamen piece and then do a little bit of gold on that as well, that buttercup. Oh, losing things all over. There we go. And that's going to go right there. All right, so now I'm going to refer to this card that I made. Whoa, we can zoom out a little. There we go. This card that I made right here. And this is just, of course, using one blossom, and then there's a little bud right here and some leaves. And for this one, this is a 6.5 by 5 inch card. I wanted to give you a look at this before I start assembling this part. You want to have your blossom kind of turned like this. There's sort of an opening right here. I just found it leaves a nice spot to put the flower center. All right, so we're going to put that right there. And now we've got our little stem. And that's going to go in the back. And you can either make it a short stem or a longer stem. Come back to our leaves. And then I just sort of like to hide the end of the stem behind one of the leaves. That. And then when you're gluing this to the card or wherever you're using it on, you just put some glue here and on the back of the stems. That is pretty much it. So now the only thing I didn't do here is do the little bud. So for this card, you guys, I started off with a blank 6.5 by 5 inch card. And then I used gingham number 2, 6 by 6 patterned paper. And it's got the tiny micro gingham, and then when you turn it over, it's got the larger gingham. So what I did was, I just glued it right here, made my border even all the way around, trimmed the excess off, and then I used this excess right here. I just matted it with some white cardstock, glued it across the center. So that's just one sheet of paper. And then I used oval cutting die right here. I used the same shade of yellow from the X-Ray Flowers solid cardstock for the little greeting here, which is just a note, and glued those right to the oval, and then just glued my little daffodils there with a little bit of 1/8 inch grosgrain ribbon. So this was really an easy one to put together. It's fun to just sit and make these in little clusters like this, and then you could add them to cards and you'd have this ready to go. All right, so let's take a look at another daffodil card. So this one, you guys, uses this little pot die, a little flower pot die right here. It also has this little greeting just for you that you can add. Very useful. You could use these on all of these flower dies. I think it's so cute. So for my card here, which is 5 by 6.5 inches, I used this wonderful blue lace, and this is from the Luscious Lace collection. I used this blue lace right here, cut it down a little bit smaller than my card, and then I added a little, I forgot to grab that, but I added a little, I think it's called Prussian blue ink around the edges. And then I used the coordinating solid blue right here for this little rectangle. Then I went ahead and started building my flower pot. So I went ahead and die cut it from the pink Luscious Lace. Let's see, this one right here. And then on the back of it, I just took a little sample here. So I die cut the flower pot from this one, and then when you turn it over, it's got a brighter version. So I die cut just that little rim from this one, and then cut it out, and then foam taped it right there, just to give it a little depth. And then glued it here to my card, leaving the top a little open so I could slide those flowers right in. And I sort of did it just sort of like a flower arrangement. I made these ahead of time and then did some here and here and here, and then made sure everything was glued down, added my greeting. So yeah, it was a really fun one to do. All right, let's take a look at the apple blossoms. So once again, layered apple blossoms. It's got the instructions on how to put everything together for the layer. They both give great card ideas as well. And here are the little apple blossom dies. So I've got them right here. They're so cute. Right, so here are the basic pieces for the apple blossom. The only one actually I didn't cut out was the stem. So for this one, I used holly green for the leaves, blush, and then a little bit of buttercup yellow. So the buttercup yellow, this little stamen part, and I just put a little bit, like half of it with yellow. Now it's already yellow, so by coloring it yellow, you just get a little bit of a variation. It gives it some depth. Then we've got blush pink, which is just so nice. So let's take the surface of the ink pad on this darker one, because we want more color. Just like that. And then I took one of the little daubers, and then I used the dauber, which softens that application of ink, and I put it around this little part. Now, the two shades of pink come from the same sheet of paper because they're reversible, and it's from that X-Ray Flowers cardstock. All right, so then we've got these little guys right here, and this just gets glued over these leaves just like that. And then some of them we just leave like that. So once again, we're going to take our holly green and a dauber. Just do a little color on the leaves like this, and the same this part of the leaf. And when assembling these, I would recommend just cutting all the pieces multiple times, and then doing your inking on all of them, then doing your assembly. It goes much faster than just trying to do one leaf at a time or one blossom at a time. All right, this one's going to go right there. And then we've got our little yellow center here. That's going to go right there. And then this one right here. Glue one right over the other. And you're just kind of making sure they're aligned there. And we're going to leave that one. That's how you put those together. So let's take a look at this card. So this is a 5x5 card. I covered it with perfect little prints. This really cute little sweet leaf print there with vines. Covered it with that, and then I used circle die. So we've got the second to the largest, so it's not quite as large. This one is the same blush pink from the X-Ray Flowers, then a white circle, and then I just started assembling my flowers. And these three are the largest blossom. These two are the medium, which I just made. Here is the medium. And then we've got the buds, two of those. So you need 3, 2, and 2. And then a whole lot of leaves. And these three right here, I foam taped. And then I foam taped these and just sort of laid them under. And then these are glued. And you just sort of start off by doing this. And then once those are all done, then I just tucked in the flowers around them. And that's how you have that nice cascade. Then we've got the little Just a Note cutting die. Cut that out of that same blush, but it's the reverse side, so it's a little darker than the matte. All right, and I've got another idea for you. All right here. This one, this one's a 5 by 6.5 inch card. And for this one, I used the X-Ray Flowers patterned cardstock. Now, don't be afraid to mix flower patterns. So like, I didn't have any apple blossom paper, but I did have a pink paper, a blush paper that I really liked. So we've got the X-Ray flowers along the bottom here, and that's not something I think the recipient is paying attention to. So I just really went for the color scheme there, trying not to be so literal. And then what I've got here is my little essential tag pad from Hunky Dory. These are all just filled here. I think there's 100 tags. Tags are there on this? There's a lot of tags, you guys. I took one of those, turned it like this, inked the edges with that blush, and glued that to the card center. And then I started building my little flower scheme here. So foam tape, and then I glued these two right here. Those are the mediums, and then just started tucking the leaves and the little buds all the way around that, just cascading down. And you'll notice here, remember this one we didn't put a leaf on. That just extends here, and they're nice to just fill in. And then we've got the For My Friend cutting die right here. And I used the matte on that one, that same blush paper, and then did the white there for make that really stand out. So you guys, I think this is a really fantastic die. Both of these are great, fantastic die collections for your toolkit that you have, all your tools. I think you'll use these again and again. So definitely check that out. I'll put these over here so we can see them. There we go. So definitely check it out, you guys. We have a great money saver. It's right over there if you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box, and there is a link that'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page where we have everything that I listed here. All the ink pads, the daubers, and everything are down below the video. And hey, while you're there on YouTube, a thumbs up really helps people find our channel, and subscribe. We do 4 to 5 of these videos a week. We wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.